Thank you guys. Thank you. I had to hop off. I don't know what happened, but I'm back on. It's not a big deal. I want you guys to know that I might be changing platforms. I don't know. I don't have a huge following on TikTok. Actually, my TikTok following is the lowest following I got. Have a really substantial following on YouTube, so I might just do that. But anyway, I just don't like the riffraff. You know what I mean? Like any kind of riffraff that comes along, I don't want to be bothered with it. I will leave it alone and go in a whole nother direction before I deal with some riffraff. So TikTok had said for me to come off because of some kind of a violation. But what did I don't even know what it was. I couldn't have said anything wrong. I don't know what it was if I did. So this is the thing, but I'm gonna get to it. Just give me 1 second, because I think I wanna switch gears up. I was gonna speak to one thing, but I think that I want to talk about something else real quick. If you just give me a moment, I'm gonna tap in. Because spirit is moving and the direction it's moving, I don't stop it. I just roll with it. My job is not to do that. My job is to be the vessel from which it flows and to allow the truth of it to flow. That's my job. And I do that real well. We're about to get started. We're going to talk about Sanballat and Tobias today. This was on my spirit. It just came upon me now that I have come back on to TikTok today after having to shut down. Initially, I was going to speak to Micah. But I think I'm going to speak to this because this is much more in alignment with what I'm thinking of right now. I was going to default into the book of Micah because of the Bible study that I just delivered to you guys not so long ago. Or actually the Bible study I delivered on Wednesday about Mephibosheth. So, but I'm going to save that because Micah is Mephibosheth's son. And I was going to tie that into, today's conversation. But because of all that has happened since I tried to log on the internet and give the world a positive word, even if nobody watches it. If nobody watches it today, if 1 million people watch it today, it doesn't matter. Because when I come forth on this camera, in whatever environment that I come forth like both nobody is going to come and anticipation of millions coming. I don't do this for likes. You must know that. I am not a woman that does things because I need people to be my friend. So, nonetheless, that gives me a lot of freedom. I'm not bound by the constraints of other people's opinions. I'm not bound by the constraints of trying to please others and sacrifice my own desires or the will of God moving through me because I want to fit in. I don't have them kind of hang-ups. And I thank God for that. So today we're going to speak to the book of Nehemiah, however you want to pronounce it. None of us knew him. So we really don't know how you pronounce it. But potato. Today I'm going to begin by reading from chapter 1. Okay, I'm going to hop, skip, and jump all over the place because this was a last minute thing. I just decided to do this because I feel like Spirit is leading me to do it. And because I'm equipped to do it. So I can pivot like that. Chapter 1. The words of Nehemiah, the son of Hakaliah. And it came to pass in the month of Chisleu, in the 20th year, I was in Shushan, the palace. And Hanani, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah. and asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity that are in the province are in great affliction and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. Friend, Nehemiah's brethren comes with an urgent word and says, Jerusalem has been taken captive. She's vulnerable. All of her defenses have been burned down, trampled upon underfoot. They are no more. We cannot repair them. We need to rebuild new. The gates, the defenses that were put up as boundaries are burned and broken. And it came to pass when I heard these words that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven and said, I beseech thee, I'm looking for you, Father. O Lord God of heaven, the great and terrible God that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments. Let thine ear now be attentive and thine eyes open, that thou mayest hear the prayer of thy servant, which I pray before thee now day and night for the children of Israel, thy servants, and confess the sins of the children of Israel, which we have sinned against thee. Both I and my father's house have sinned. I'm looking for the word, confessing. I was about to say testifying. He is confessing. He has come before God. He is lost, friend. The Israelites have been taken into captivity. Those that were not taken into captivity fled and escaped. And those that escaped were so far off what they were doing to the holy places that they could never before tread upon. Now the enemy has come upon them unto the holiest of holies and broken down the boundaries, the gates that protected it, and burned it. And now Nehemiah is saying, Father, I have no choice. My pride has left me. I have no pride. There's no buffer between me and my confession at this point. I must go before God and confess. I'm not too proud to lay at the feet of my Father that loves me, that created me, and confess. Friend, you can go so far in your ego thinking you know everything, and you can try all your tactics to overcome people, places, and things that you're dealing with, only for you to figure out that you're going nowhere but in a circle, and you're doing nothing but accruing more negativity on yourself. You're making things worse for you. And then a messenger comes to you and tells you activity that has happened, showing you that you are compiling more and more negativity upon yourself. Your situation is getting worse. And Nehemiah says, there's no more ego. I don't have any more ego. I'm a servant in another man's kingdom, but I'm a prince. I'm appointed prince to the mightiest house, the house that these people are copying. And I'm thinking we're going to buy time over here because our God is going to come and save the day. But it keeps getting worse and worse. And now I see that they have tread upon the holiest of holies. And God has allowed them. This is signifying to Nehemiah the degree of which they have been punished. This could never have happened before. God would not ever have allowed it. From Hezekiah to even Ahab, to all points in between, and then those before them up to David, God would never allow things to get this bad, where they come upon God's holy temple and burn it. And Nehemiah says, I got to go and confess. I can't go before God tattletelling on them and saying, oh, they're bad, Father, look at what they're doing, this, that, and the other. This is a higher level of punishment. The severity of which I am in requires humility on a whole nother level for me. This is not an offering that's going to solve this. There's not enough oil we're going to be able to gather and anoint some stuff with. I can't fast that long, long enough to help me come from up under this. If I fast long enough, I'll be out of here. I won't survive the fast. That's how long I'm going to have to fast. And how do you fast from a punishment that is inflicted upon you by your God? It's the same theory of a curse. When someone throws a curse on you, how does a curse land on somebody that ain't never did nothing to you? You're so wise in your thinking, you think that you don't even know the rules of the game you're playing. You're cursing yourself. You throwing a curse on somebody that's never done nothing to you gives them the ability to lay you down. You're just saying, here you go. You're praying they never find out it's you. When all it takes is a few simple tricks and they figure out it's you like that. But if you don't know that game, if you don't know that system, if all you know is throwing stuff out there to people, you don't know what it's like to take it. If you don't know what it's like to reverse engineer that thing and stand in it and deal with it, and then reverse engineer it, you don't know the details of it. God has put these people in a situation that nothing that they've ever done will help them overcome. It's not their enemies that are doing this to them. It's their God. As a punishment because of their own actions. But because they don't want to stand in the punishment, they don't want to reap the results of their own actions that they did, they'll try any and everything to avoid it, which includes honoring false gods, honoring the imaginations, and making them gods. That's exactly what's going on here. Whether through sigils, whether through idols, constructs of the hand, all of these things, they will use a vessel that they construct on their own to make into a god, because they don't find themselves worthy to honor the God of their creation. Because they don't want to bear the weight of the punishment and working that out, all that negative karma, working that off, that they inflicted upon themselves by trying to harm somebody else or by trying to live outside of their creation. And Nehemiah says, I can't fool myself anymore. Who am I fooling? I can go and create all these imaginations and honor them and put emotion and feeling into them and do all that I want to do. But at the end of the day, I'm still out of alignment with myself, with the God within me. And all these little things that I'm doing, or we're doing as a collective, are just little small band-aids that we're putting on a problem. We're not fixing it. We're getting temporary relief in the form of comforts. Let me go and confess. Let me own up to myself. Basically, that's what it is. That's what a confession is. Let me be honest with me. Let me go in the bathroom and stand in the mirror and look at myself and confess. Verse 7, we have dealt very corruptly against thee, and have not kept the commandments, nor the statutes, nor the judgments, which thou commandest thy servant Moses. He's saying, we haven't honored ourselves. Because if you read this book, and I've read it top to bottom over and over again, and the apocryphal text, and the midrash, and the other various texts that create a full body of the perspectives found within this book and of the house, you will find that the commandments that God has mandated for you and I to honor, and the words of the law and within this book, are all there to help us. They're to remind you that you don't have to bow down to anything. You don't need to sit and befriend anybody. You don't have to sit at the feet of a false idol. If you are captive by another kingdom, you don't have to feel as if you are less than somebody else. The commandments of God give you a sense of belonging. They tell you that you are connected to power and that there is always a way out of anything that you experience. You are never alone. And many of you, like looking at these comments, y'all think it's a joke. Friend, the joke's on you. We all in the same system. You're not in some separate universe, friend. That's what makes this thing so interesting. We're all in the same thing. So whether you get it or you don't, I mean, I want to say I care, but I don't really care. That's for you to care. It's not for me to care. I'm not your parent. I'm out here preaching a word of encouragement and nutrition, spiritual nutrition to people that really know that they need it. I'm not here to convince you at all. For real. I'm so for real. Nehemiah gets approval to help rebuild the wall. He gets support from the king. The king knows the story of these people. He knows these people are in exile because they have transgressed the law of their God. Their God did this to them. And because they have such a rich history, these are a regal people, a royal people. This is not fake regality. This is not pomp and circumstance. This is not pageantry. This is real regality. This is bloodline. It's cream of the crop, creme de la creme. This is the cream that will always float. Any remnant of this house always is set apart. There's something about them that distinguishes the level of regality of which they come from. And the king knows this. And he allows Nehemiah to go and rebuild the wall, to honor his ancestors, because that's what Nehemiah said he wanted to do. He wanted to rebuild the wall, to build back up the firewall, the defenses surrounding the ancestral space, to protect the history of the ancestral space. This is how powerful the ancestral space is. When Nehemiah is speaking that he wants to go and rebuild the wall, he's doing so because of the ancestral component. And the king gives Nehemiah all he needs to do it. Yet the haters. I'm not one, friend, to have ever really been the person that always thought people were hating on her. Like, I don't default to that. I try to psychoanalyze things and really get to the root, because saying somebody is hating on you is just like a label that I think people use a lot nowadays. But why? How do you know they're hating on you? Could they actually be telling you the truth? And if you think they are hating on you, what exactly is the spirit that's driving them? What are you doing that's causing such things? Are you standing in righteousness? Are you telling them a truthful thing? And because the spirit of fear or the spirit of jealousy or the spirit of childhood trauma, some sort of inadequacy that they have never resolved within their lives is showing back up, they can't accept you. So now they're looking to be what people call a hater on you. All these things we label as hater or hate. But really, they're spirits that need to be fed, that have become accustomed to living amongst you. They're spirits that you have begun to trauma bond with. You've made your friend. Life is comfy now with them, because you've never done the work to cast them out and to overcome and to ascend to a higher state of consciousness within your own kingdom. And because now God has sent someone within your environment or within your space, you feel uncomfortable. And instead of dealing with the problem within yourself, you want to attack the vessel. This is exactly what is happening amongst the children of Israel as it relates to the nation, seeing them and the places of reverence that they honor. Word gets out that the king has given Nehemiah the ability to go and repair his ancestral place of reverence, the wall of Jerusalem. And the haters come. Those people that for whatever reason have internal issues within themselves that make them feel a certain way alongside someone else that feels empowered. They don't want Nehemiah to be successful in corralling his brethren and his sisterin to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, because they're afraid that if they ever get enough favor with the king, or if they ever rebuild this wall up to where it needs to be, then they may be vulnerable in some way, shape, or form. They don't have a lot of confidence in their ability to withstand amongst Nehemiah and his brethren and sisterin if they ever get on their feet. I'll read it. Chapter 4, verse 1. But it came to pass that when Sanballat heard that we builded the wall, he was wroth, and took great indignation, and mocked the Jews. He spake before his brethren and the army of Samaria, and said, what do these feeble Jews, what are these Jews doing? These weak Jews doing? They look stupid. What are these stupid Jews doing? Who do they think they are? Will they fortify themselves? Will they sacrifice? Will they make an end in the day? Will they revive the stones out of the heaps of the rubbish which are burned? Now Tobiah the Ammonite was by him, and he said, even that which they build, if a fox go up, he shall even break down their stone wall. The children of Israel are in a place where they are being managed by these two individuals, Sanballat and Tobiah. The king put them in place to manage the people. Yet Nehemiah is a high-ranking individual. He's the king's servant. He's the guy that if the king gets a cup of water, he takes a sip of it first, some way, just to make sure the king doesn't get poisoned. So the king trusts Nehemiah. The king has a different relationship with Nehemiah than he does with Sanballat and Tobias. The king doesn't know if Sanballat and Tobias will be the ones behind getting him poisoned. But the king knows that Nehemiah, if those two will be the one that will be able to uncover it, because he's gonna be affected by it. They have a different level of interaction. Whole nother expression of interest. And they fear so much that they're involving themselves in things that have nothing to do with them. They're making something out of nothing just to be able to control. Yet God would move still. Friend, I'm here to tell you, just as I came on here, and this is what brought it up, there was no other reason me using this Nehemiah chapter in the Bible as a point of reference. Then when I came on here, somehow my live got reported and I had to end it, and then I had to come back on. Now, whether a person did something, I don't know. I don't think that they did, or they may have, or a spirit, because I believe nothing happens by chance. It happened to try to stop the flow. Something as simple as coming on with a good word about God, leading people in a way that will help them spiritually. It's the same thing that the children of Israel faced when Nehemiah went to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. Yet he did not stop. He didn't let it discourage him, because he knew his work was necessary. It was bigger than just him and his selfish desire. It was necessary for the collective. When Nehemiah went and confessed to God, he didn't confess just for himself. He confessed for both he and the collective. He didn't just mourn and get sad. He took action and fasted. He took action in ways that made his life uncomfortable, so that he could be worthy to go before God on behalf of all of those that could care less to do so. And in that, he didn't know in what way or what manner God would allow things to come together. He didn't say, God, punish Tobias and punish Sanballat and punish this and punish that. He didn't say that. He kept his head down and he stayed focused. And he allowed God to iron it out. Even though his brethren, he could not depend upon to prep themselves and fast and go before God in numbers, probably increasing the likelihood of him succeeding and God hearing his petition. God heard his petition. And God would give him the grace and the power to be able to go before his brethren and inspire them, give them a word of hope. To provoke them from the inside out by touching the heart. And in turn, they would jump aboard to Nehemiah's cause. Each man would pick up tools to assist Nehemiah in rebuilding the wall. And they would come together as a team, as a unit of people to rebuild the structure better, stronger. And they would come together every day, just like the children did when God asked Moses to ask them if they would want to offer gifts for the tabernacle. They would come every morning, y'all, offering gifts. They would create a community and energy around it, everyone supportive of the endeavor. And those creative juices would begin flowing amongst one another. There was nothing better to talk about than what they were all locked in doing. And it became a vibration so strong that Moses would have to turn them away. It will be the same way with this wall of Jerusalem. All from one person being in alignment and leading from a righteous perspective, even if the people did not intentionally want to hear it. They couldn't deny the truth of it. They could not find a fault in it. There was no deception in it. There was no selfish gain appointed to it. And in that, in them not being able to see such, it turned their observation in to them. And they would become humble to it. In love, because it only made them better. This is my word to y'all today. This is it. You do not have to align to the God of Israel to grasp the concept of what I'm speaking to. If you align to truth, if you align to love, you align to this philosophy. We're all in this thing together, whether you like it or not. You love more than you'll ever know. I just wanted to come on and give you a daily word of encouragement in whatever way I could to make you better. Not because I'm better than you. Not at all. We're all neck to neck up in here. But because I love you. And it's the righteous thing to do. Keep going. God loves you. Friend, when I tell you God loves you, God really, 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 really loves you. Be good to yourselves and be good to one another. Peace and love.